Okay, here we go. Round two. We're going to look at Mesopotamia in this video. All right, I want you to title this The Cradle of Civilization. All right, again, notice that you're going to find your notes in yellow or bold black print, unless I point out otherwise. All right, you're going to record your answers to the short questions on a separate sheet of paper. All right, now let's get ready to go. And before we do, I want you to notice that we're going to be looking at particularly the cultural aspects of Mesopotamia, and it's important because of this word right here, cultural diffusion. That's something we're going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks. So that's something you're going to definitely want to know. If you don't know what that means, look it up. All right, cultural diffusion. All right, Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers. All right, literally the Tigris and the Euphrates. Now this area is going to be hugely important. Now here's the Euphrates and here's the Tigris, but this little area right here, this is where all of the happiness starts. Right here in a little place called Sumer.
The Garden of Eden, our most enduring legend. A story found in one great civilization after another. A story of seduction, the wrath of God, and paradise lost. But is it merely a fable? Is there evidence the great stories of the Bible might be true? Was there ever really such a place as Eden? Today, the search for the Garden of Eden leads us to a dry and desolate land, to a place called Mesopotamia.
Now, Mesopotamia, all right, this is a unique place because, like you said, it is extremely dry. They have a lot of challenges there. First, flooding, all right, was highly unpredictable. And because of that, it's hard to make a plan for what you're going to do for the rest of the year. Okay. Then you have these long droughts of little rain, and because of that, they had to be really, really creative in ways of making water last. All right, and getting the most out of what they have. All right. Now look at some of the ways that they're going to deal with these challenges. All right. First, they're going to start digging these irrigation ditches. All right, which would be a technological advance. All right. And then the second thing, with their surplus crops, they're going to use that for trade. All right, and they're going to become some of the most keen traders in the area. All right. Now, when they built their cities, because all of these little communities, all of them were little separate cities. Okay, and each city built a wall, and so it was like you would be the king of your own city. Okay, and so one little community would pop up, they would wall it off. All right, and then and the idea was to keep out other invaders, that is, some of their neighbors who might want to come and take over. Now, at the center of their cities, you would have something that we call the ziggurat. Okay, it looks sort of like a pyramid in terms of structure, but the function is completely different. The ziggurat was like an all-purpose place. All right, It was religion, cultural, economic, political. Everything happened at the ziggurat. Right? And like each level served its own purpose. Okay, like the king may deal government business in here. Some of his chief scribes may be operating out of here, along with some of the chief religious leaders. May have schools or something going on down in here, and then in here they might have had trade. All right, so it was like this all-purpose. This was where you would. This would be like the equivalent of the Mall of Georgia. All right, this is where everyone went for pretty much all of their needs. If you combine the mall and the governor's mansion and probably your largest church, and you put them all together, boom, that's what you have when you say ziggurat. Now, and I did say it dealt with religion. All right, these figurines were represented some of their gods. Okay, now their gods. Notice that they have human shapes, and notice they have many gods. Okay, so that means that they were polytheistic because they worship many different gods for different, depending on different aspects of society. All right, now these gods had personalities, and like the environment, these personalities were unpredictable and sometimes rather unpleasant. All right. Now there's one of their greatest myths or stories that's going to become like really the world's first novel is the Epic of Gilgamesh. All right, the Epic of Gilgamesh was about this great Babylonian king who is going to challenge one of the gods, and has a really great story with it. In fact, the story is so great, many aspects of the story of Gilgamesh is going to appear in later works from neighboring cultures. Now, in order to write the world's first novel, you have to develop a writing system. All right, and the Sumerians did just that. All right, they developed something called cuneiform. Now, cuneiform, all right, was this wedge-shaped writing. Okay, you do need this definition for cuneiform. It's a wedge-shaped writing. That is, all of the writing is going to look, and they wrote on these little clay tablets. All right, you would write on this. You would take a little reed, and you would press in what you wanted to say, and then you would bake it out in the sun, let it harden, and that's how it became permanent.
Say it with your chest.
That's how it became permanent. Alright. Now, in the ziggurat, they would have schools, and some of the wealthier male children would learn the new writing system. Okay, but this was an exclusive system. Only the wealthy male children learned this writing system. It wasn't for everyone. All right, cuneiform. All right, now if you look at it, I mean, it looks rather complicated, but it is rather simple at the same time. You got this triangle shaped in a box in a little line, and these became, I mean, this is a fairly complicated system, but it worked. All right, not everyone can memorize all of these little squiggly lines, and the numbering system. Now, the numbering system was a little more easy to learn. If you look here, I mean, you got 1, and then if you add this little symbol here, you get 11. Add 2 of those symbols, you get 21, and then 31, and so on and so forth. Alright. Now finally, there's going to be another neighboring group called the Phoenicians. All right, the Phoenicians lived in the area. All right, say it with me one more time. The Phoenicians.
Say it with your chest.
Okay. The key thing about the Phoenicians that I want you to understand is that they improved cuneiform. That is, they simplified it to something that looks more closely to that you're used to. Okay, look at these letters. They broke it down into letters. Okay, now this is the Phoenician writing here, and here this is our writing. Okay, it's a little closer to our writing today, but they came up with the idea of symbols. All right, of an alphabet. All right, I got 3 questions I want you to answer. After you answer these 3 questions, then I think that is it. All right. Yep. Thank you, and
Say it with your chest.
bring it in tomorrow.